Appreciate it. So today, the House holding a hearing with FBI Director Christopher Wray and key military leaders to examine security failures leading up to the January 6th Capitol attack. My next guest questioned those officials. Congressman Raja Krishnamurti joins me now. Thank you, sir. Congressman, it's good to see you. So,
hey, same here.
There were some big developments at the hearing today, including that your committee obtained documents showing that social media company Parler sent the FBI evidence of planned violence in Washington on January 6th, and that Parler referred this content to the FBI for investigation over 50 times. 50 times. Was this a massive oversight by the FBI?
I think so, Don. I think there was just a lot of lapses with regard to the FBI's detection of the intelligence and leading up to January 6th. And my biggest problem, quite frankly, is that Christopher Wray and the FBI and the Justice Department are not coming clean with regard to the errors or lapses in judgment or their missteps leading up to January 6th or on January 6th or the aftermath. Even now, 500 people have been arrested, but close to 1,000 people actually breached the Capitol. Why haven't the other remaining people who were part of the insurrection been arrested, and why have so few been prosecuted? We need to hustle right now, because if we don't, the people on the alt-right are going to continue to declare victory as a consequence of January 6th. They got away with it.
You also pressed the FBI director on whether there was foreign funding of individuals involved in the January 6th attack. Let's listen to that.
Sir, you can't rule out that other far-right extremist groups received foreign donations in the lead-up to January 6th, can you?
Not only would I not want to rule it out, but certainly the possibility of foreign funding or support for domestic violent extremism is something that's particularly high on our priority list because of the challenges it poses.
And you can't rule out
part of the concern.
Yes, sir. You can't rule out that foreign financing helped fund activities related to January 6th, right?
Correct. I'm not sure we've seen that at this stage, but I certainly wouldn't purport to have ruled it out.
So, Congressman, how significant would it be if rioters were given money by people outside the U.S. to attack the U.S.? Has anything like that happened before?
Not to my knowledge. Don, just so your viewers know, basically $250,000 in Bitcoin was deposited into the account of Nick Fuentes, who's the leader of Groypers, one of the groups that actually breached the Capitol that day. That Bitcoin came from a donor in France who was lamenting the decline of Western civilization. So this is the challenge that we have to deal with at this point, the foreign financing of domestic violent extremists.
Yeah, and that's according to the investigation that you've done. It's not, again, not CNN's reporting, but that's what you have gathered here. So you also heard from Army General Charles Flynn today. He's the brother of that disgraced big lie and coup promoter Michael Flynn, Lieutenant General Walter Pyatt, director of the Army staff. Did they clear up whether any political considerations were made in the deploying of the National Guard during the attack, or the lack of deploying them early enough?
Unfortunately, no. They just weren't able to shed any light on this issue or explain why there was such a delay between the time that urgent requests were made for assistance and when the assistance actually arrived. And again, that is a big unanswered question, and that's why we need that bipartisan commission that you talked about in the earlier segment to get to the truth of why there was such a delay and how to prevent that from happening again.
So tonight, the House overwhelmingly passed legislation to award congressional gold medals to police officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th. I was just talking to the House, voted against it. What did you think of that, Congressman?
I think it was appalling. It was disgraceful. I think that these folks, unfortunately, are exemplified by Paul Gosar, who during the oversight hearing basically said that the Capitol police officer executed one of the attackers on the House chambers. And basically what he's implying is that person who was attacking the House chambers was somehow in the right. And that is just a crazy perspective. And I, for one, am not going to hop on this first bus to crazy town that Paul Gosar and others are taking. We're not going to go along for that ride.
Yeah. Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.